In today's video, I'm going to talk about work, quitting your job, staying at your job, and the good old you'll get more work when you do good work. Unfortunately, I probably experienced this at most of my jobs. I haven't tallied it up, but somehow I get in a situation where I do really good work, I'm really productive or efficient, and I'm given just so much more tasks. Several months ago, I actually put a poll to my friends and family members, and I wrote, "My mental health is suffering. It's impacted my physical health too. What do y'all think? Should I quit my job without finding a new one?" Shockingly, here are the results. Over 50% of people said yes, 7% said no, and a little less than half, 40%, says, "I'm not sure, it depends." I've seen a lot of the viral videos, and I'm sure you may have too, about people saying, "I quit my job, I feel so much more free. I quit my job, I'm happier." And then I think I've seen a little bit of headlines too, "I quit my job, I regret it." This is something that I really struggled with because I didn't see an end in sight. I want to talk about this because this is something that I've struggled a lot with, where as an achiever, as someone who does good work, I think I'm constantly given more work. I want to talk about this because it's similar to a video that I did about productivity and how our worth is not tied in our productivity. We're not robots. But I think in a capitalistic society, we are encouraged to perform more because our productivity, our efforts, our work somehow is tied. I think as someone who likes to do a good job because I really just am seeking that external validation, which is not healthy, it can really get to me, and it's not something that I encourage. I think that we all should do good work. I think that while we each have responsibility for preventing it from happening, that's setting boundaries and communicating and being mindful, managers and companies are also on the hook for making sure that there's an environment where you can speak up. And I say this because I've actually tried to speak up so many times and it just fell on deaf ears. So it's so important that when we set up an expectation that we are not taking advantage of. I talked to my therapist about this, and essentially when you create a baseline of where you're at, that expectation is set. For example, if I'm going to perform at, let's say, 110%, even when I'm doing 100% or even 80%, and if, let's say, someone typically will perform at like 80% or something, that is acceptable. But because maybe someone's used to me, or maybe my manager is used to me performing above and beyond consistently, it's not sustainable, because what happens is the people who do good work are given more work. At a certain point, it's really hard because they look at you and say, "Hey, you've done this before. Like, what do you mean?" But I was just being a team player because we're down people and I just want to make sure that the work is done, which is not good for me. Going back to those results and people saying I should totally quit my job because mental health is so important, the reason why I didn't quit my job is because I knew that although in the short term I would feel better, long term I'd probably be very depressed. What's really interesting is I actually really quite like what I do, and I actually saw myself hopefully retiring from the job. I think what made it very unbearable was the leadership and the lack of recognition. My work was giving credit to other people on the team, which doesn't feel so good. I think at a certain point when it keeps happening over and over again and you keep voicing, or I kept voicing my frustrations and what happened, and then piled on more work even though I spoke up and said, "Hey, this is a little bit difficult," or "It's extremely difficult," and then given like the cold shoulder, it's just really exhausting. Didn't quit because I knew long-term wise I would probably feel it more. And it's really hard to be resilient in those situations. And I joke with a friend that maybe I'm the definition of insanity for not quitting. I'm hoping that it gets better. I am setting boundaries. I'm actually super mentally exhausted from dealing with all of this because it's so exhausting dealing with people who don't take accountability for their actions. It's really discouraging hearing managers say that there's no accountability, like that's not their fault at all. I remember I was in a session and someone had mentioned that employees should speak up and let their managers know when there is something going on. Yes, they should, but at the same time, managers are also responsible for being introspective and being mindful of how they come across, which is so interesting hearing that. But anyways, I digress. I am really appreciative of the support of the over 50% people who said that, yeah, I totally should do it for my mental health. While maybe some people don't have that privilege, right, to quit their jobs and have nothing lined up. The market has been really tough. So if you're out there, if you have a work situation that might be really toxic, whether that's the work environment, your manager, your team members, people that are not giving you a good time, I hope you persevere and try to think about the happy things. I've been trying to cope with my job by focusing on things I really enjoy. And unfortunately, I can't control what other people do. I can't control what people say, but what I can do is be mindful of how I react. And I know that's not easy. As someone who's going through therapy and working through these struggles, I learned, and I'm quite aware of this already, but basically when someone is put into a traumatic situation and they are traumatized, basically, it's really hard to not react and have those reactions because it just feels like you're being attacked over and over again. But something that's been really helpful for me that I want to share is this method of just trying to ground myself. And I hope this helps you if you're dealing with that. I try to stay present because it's been really hard for me, and it's so easy for me to get to a place where I'm like, wow, I'm not sure how to calm down. But essentially it's the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, using our senses. The first step is look around the room and find 5 colors and then say that out loud, or you can say it inside too, but saying it out loud might help at first. So you might say, I see red, I see white, I see black, I see yellow, gray, etc. And then 4 is the 4 surfaces that you'll touch. So maybe you'll touch the ground, maybe you'll touch my glasses, my scrunchie, that's 3, and then maybe I'm gonna also touch my zipper here. So that's the 4, and then 3 is to recall tastes that you enjoy today, and it could be just part of a meal. So maybe I will say I taste the bread that I ate earlier, the sauce on the bread, and then the lunch meat that I had. So I had a banh mi, which is a Vietnamese hoagie, so I'm recalling that. So that's the 3. 2 is to listen for sounds around you and then identify that. So just take a moment to be quiet. I hear some car noises, I hear my voice talking, so that's just an example. Finally, 1 is to recall and breathe in a smell that you really love. And the smell I really love is the smell of clean clothes. So I hope that exercise helps you. It's the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Again, it's 5 colors you see in the room, 4 surfaces you can touch, 3 things you taste, 2 sounds you hear, and then finally 1 smell, and then just breathe it in. And it's been really grounding for me. I've been doing this at least twice a day when I walk my dog, and it's just been really helpful. Another thing that has been really helpful for me is to do this breathing exercise, which is 4, 4, 8. It's to breathe in 4, hold for 4, and then breathe out for 8. So I'll demonstrate it. It's breathe in 1, 2, 3, 4, hold 1, 2, 3, 4, and then breathe out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then just continue doing that. And that really grounds us and makes us more present, because what happens is when we're in a stressful situation, our body just doesn't know how to get back to normal. We react to these stressful situations by picking up a heartbeat because that keeps us safe and we can run from danger. If there's like maybe a tiger or a lion or just an animal or whatever is attacking us, right? So we're on guard and we're ready to fight or flight. Unfortunately, when we don't regulate those systems and we keep having these stressful responses, it just occurs and we just don't know how to regulate ourselves. So definitely please try these exercises. Hopefully it doesn't bore anyone. It's been really helpful for me, and I think I really owe it to my therapist for helping keep me sane. It's been really tough, and I want to say that if you're going through something, know that it's going to be over. Know that this is just that part of your journey where you're gonna get stronger. And I like to tell people that if I can survive this, what else can I do? Being serious though, I really wish you all the best. I want to share this because I think in life we will always have situations where we don't expect it, and that's where most of the growth happens. That's where it tests our resiliency. That is where we grow so much. And I know it's so hard to be grateful right now, but another exercise I like to do is kind of recognize what I'm grateful for, and I think that keeps us more positive because it's so easy to jump into the negative emotions because that keeps us safe. I'm so grateful to have this platform. I'm so grateful for you watching me and to have this safe space to really share how I feel, and I hope to make a difference. I really appreciate you watching my videos. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and hit that notification bell if you want to be notified. Please give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. Let me know if this video was helpful. I hope this really resonates. I will hopefully see you soon. Wish you all the best and take care. Talk to you soon. Thank you so much.